Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery. Got a product video for you today. We wanted to tell you about the Stan Onnex Hinge release. This is the Hinge version of this release in Stan's Onnex line. They came out with the Onnex line that has a tension activated, a hinge, and a thumb button, all based off of the same handle. This is the hinge or back tension version of it. And you can see this brass color. I have it in heavy metal. It also comes in aluminum as well. Incidentally, this is the large. There's a small, medium, large, extra large. 4 sizes of this release. But the Onnex Hinge, first off, what is a hinge or back tension release? So that means there is no trigger on this release. This is not a trigger. It looks like one. I'll tell you about it in a second. But for this release to fire, you can imagine my string is my finger here. The whole release has to rotate. That's why they call it a hinge. Once I get the rotation far enough, then the release activates. So that's what they mean by that. They call it back tension too because you increase your back tension is one of the ways that you can activate this release. But one of the great things about it is this device right here. This is not a trigger, this is a safety. So one of the fears that especially new archers have when they're just starting out trying a hinge release, they're worried about their hand rotating as they're drawing the bow, and then it will set off the release and then they end up hitting themselves in the face. But with the safety mechanism, as long as I squeeze that with my thumb while I'm drawing back, as long as I'm squeezing that, I can't activate that release. You see how much I'm turning my hand. Now I'm going to let go, and when I start through it, see how it went off right away. So that's what the safety does. It keeps that release from firing. Great for beginners or anybody else if you're just concerned about that, hunting situation, something like that. You know you've always got that safety there. Great for letting down then. Just grab onto that post, you can let down, you know you're not going to accidentally fire. So if you don't like to have that safety feature there, you can see this screw right here. If I just turn that all the way in, essentially I'm locking this in place, and then this is just no different than a thumb peg. It doesn't move, so it's not a safety anymore. It's just a thumb peg to use when you draw back the bow. So a lot of adjustability on this release. First off, we're going to tell you about this device right here. This is what Stan calls their training lock. So if I take this pin out of the thumb barrel and I put it into the head of the release, there's one hole right there. It goes in, I screw it in there. Now what that allows me to do, it allows me to train with this release. So I can be in, my house, just practicing my shot process, come back, start activating the release. I hear the click. That is the release firing, but it didn't fire. Come back down, let it reset. Again, I can just practice my shot process. Just to practice without actually having to shoot the bow. And I can use my actual bow in practicing like that. So that is a great feature. That's the training lock. Stan features that on a number of their releases. As we mentioned, just adjustability. Let's start here with the safety. So you can see I have slotted holes here for the screws so I can sweep this forward and back wherever I want it. In the package, you are going to get some extra pieces. So you are going to get a longer barrel if I want to extend that out. If that's how I like to set that up, I can do that. So now I've got a longer thumb peg. I've also got a fatter barrel. If I want to use this one instead, you're going to get another finger piece. So you can see here the way I have this release set up, it is a 3-finger release. One of the cool things is it also includes this, what Stan calls a whale tail. So my 3 fingers are in here. A lot of times with these releases, then your pinky, sometimes you're not sure what to do with it. Do you let it hang? Do you stick it out? What's your pinky doing? So with this whale tail, it just gives you an extra place to rest your pinky. There's no leverage there, but it gives you something to do with your pinky so you can set it there every time. You know, repeatability is what we want. That gives you a place to set it. In the package, you are going to get an extension piece that you would just swap out. And now this handle will become a 4-finger release if I want to set it up that way. So for adjustments, we already talked about this screw here. If I screw that all the way in, then this is no longer a safety. Well, you can see right on top of it, there is a hole. And one of the Allen wrenches that you get in the pack, I would put that in there until it engages. Now, clockwise, I'm going to make this release faster. Counterclockwise, and I'm going to make it colder. And what is actually happening right here between the brass and the head, you're going to see a screw come up as I turn it clockwise. Remember, clockwise makes it faster. So by pushing that up, essentially, I am decreasing the amount of rotation that is needed to get this release to fire. Counterclockwise, of course, then I am increasing the amount of rotation needed. So that's how the adjustments work on this release, the stand release. That's pretty ingenious, pretty simple as a matter of fact. The hook. One of the great features of this is that it is a spring-loaded return. So I have just fired the bow. The hook automatically snaps back. It is on a spring. No more fumbling with that. No more trying to get your finger in there to close it into your D-loop. After each shot, it comes right back and is ready to fire. So what I can tell you about the Onnex is, you know, with stand releases, the thing they're known for is just being super crisp. This one is no different. When I come back, get into my anchor and then just start activating the shot. When that hook breaks free and releases, it's smooth. I don't feel any grinding right before the hook releases. I just work through my shot and then boom, the hook releases, string goes forward. Super crisp as we expect from Stan. All right, so that is the Stan Onnex Hinge. Great new release from Stan in that Onnex line of releases. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that bell to get notifications whenever we put out new videos. And as always, if you have any questions, you can visit us at LancasterArchery.com.